Hello everybody, welcome to class 3 in diversity and inclusion. This is all about character. It's all about who you are as a person, because I have learned that is the most important thing. Yes, you could learn all about the ways of interacting with a variety of different people, but it all comes down to, but what kind of person, what kind of heart do you have for this kind of work? Because in order to invite everybody in order to create a place where everyone feels belonging, accepted, as a lot of you talk about, where your strengths and gifts are recognized and manifested, a place that doesn't care about your abilities, a place that doesn't care about your gods that you bow to, or who you fall in love with, or your color. All they care about is the content of your character, as Dr. King once said. It all comes down to who you are as a person, to create these opportunities for people to feel belonging. For me, I think it all comes down to following a code of honor. I have no time for a code of ethics. I got to be honest with you. I can see how they're valuable and important to people, but a code of honor is a little bit different. A code of ethics, for example. A code of ethics deals with sort of the rules, the rules of conduct in the organization. But a code of honor are the character traits necessary to do a good job. Your character traits. So what do we require? Well, I follow a code called the Warrior Code. It's the Shambhala Code. It's an Eastern philosophy thing. It's the code that our indigenous groups have followed for years. King Arthur, the Round Table, knights, samurai warriors. They've all followed this code. And it's not a code of war. It's a code about how do we make this place better. And it all comes down to the human. Some things that stand out for me in the code of honor that relates to our work, a character trait that I think relates to our work, is the number one thing is the warrior always fights to ensure that today is better than yesterday. Think about that from an inclusion diversity perspective of how valuable that is to have as a trait in somebody. A warrior also sees the gifts and strengths first in a person. Again, think about how that fits with character. A warrior builds a democracy. A warrior lives with their heart on their sleeve and is sensitive to things. A warrior relies on its experiences and trusts themselves. Those are the big character traits that I believe. I also believe a couple of other things that are important about the character of the person in this kind of work. You have to be creative. You do. You have to be creative, because you can read everything you want about in inclusion and diversity, but it will not help you out in certain situations in your workplace. You got to be creative. You got to be collaborative, and you have to be reflective. You have to think about how things are working on a day-to-day basis. Your character, your heart, is what matters most in this kind of work, because, my friends, that is the point.